There are 3 things a gay always needs.
Craziest thing happened to me today.
We gotta know the tea. We gotta keep the tea. We gotta be the best friend.
Guess who I saw on the dating app the other day?
I'm so glad that phones cannot talk, because if my phone could talk, the secrets that it would tell.
Wow, I really was blessed with good looks. Like, look at me.
Hey,
Oh my gosh.
Which I was like, boop, 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 both hands in the air.
But I can't see you. As in, like, I think you can see my window because you're the host.
I can, yeah.
We're both hosts, but
Yes.
you're the one that controls. You're the tech guy. I was telling my friend the other day, I was like, Russ is the tech guy. He's the guy behind. He's the guy in the chair. That's you.
Come on, guy in the chair. Welcome
on,
back,
guy in the
everybody,
chair.
to season 3, episode 2 of Good Day Gay. We are ready to spill the tea.
Spill
Thank
the
you,
tea.
bitch, because you know what? Everybody has it, but not everybody wants it. Whether it's talking about living with your ex, whether you got kids, a baby's mama, you got issues and been to therapy, we are talking about baggage. And you know what? Check that out the door, because I ain't got the time for it. Everybody, but before we go anywhere, everybody say what's up to my co-host, Pauly B.
Oh, hey.
Hey.
Can I just say, like, so I remember I'm going to take full credit for this episode's brief.
You should, as you should. Take the stage.
Where's my clap?
Yes.
He's trying to find it. It's lost. The moment's lost now.
Oh.
So,
Yes.
Whew.
Sorry, the live
okay,
audience was a little sleepy today.
The live audience is a little bit sleepy. That's why they need their tea, and we're
Mhm.
gonna spill it.
Baby.
Now I thought this was hilarious because the other day I was like out with some friends and I ran into a girlfriend that I know, and she was with a guy. And then the next day we were just messaging, like, just over text or whatever. And I was like, was that a date that you were on the other night when I ran into you? I was like, girl, like, he's cute. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that was cute. Like, he's cute, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, yeah, that was a date. It was our second date, but he's got a bit of baggage. And I was like, ooh.
The infamous words.
And I was like,
words.
well, I was like, well, we're all human, so we all have baggage, but is this like, was he within the 7 kilo like allowable like hand carry weight, or was he like over baggage? Was he wearing like 2 kilos on his body so that that didn't count in the like weigh in and everything? Like, was his baggage overweight? Like, and I was like, Russ, we need to go into the tea of that, because I don't know about you, and I think we've done it before where we've like maybe sent each other a few videos and things on like social media where I've like sent you a picture and I'm like, girl, does he have another man? Didn't he just break up with his man?
Well, first of all, let's get into it, because you were talking about baggage and the kilos. So first of all, when you're flying, you get to bring baggage onto the plane. However, you get 1 carry-on and you get 1 personal item. So you get 1 piece of baggage that you have, whether it's childhood trauma, you have daddy issues, you have whatever it is, and 1 personal issue, like being psychotic. Okay, you only get 1 and 1. You don't get 10 things. You don't get to be psychotic, and you don't get to be emotionally draining. You don't get to be the loud one in the room. You don't get there. You have to pick one of those things and 1 issue that you're gonna bring into a relationship, whether you have a barrier, so you need to break down a wall. That's a baggage, because someone obviously hurt you in the past and you're psycho. So both of those things, that's all you get. Nothing more.
But you know what? People really be trying to bring more. Like, I go back to my 6 months abroad last year where when I was traveling in the US, I was noticing, like, and again, this is just the US, we don't have to go into it, but like in the US, I would look at people's hand carry and I'm like, that is not hand carry. Like, that is legitimately like 15 kilos, and you're trying to bring that on board with you to put overhead. Like, no, like save me some room for my 7 kilos, which is within the allowable limit. Like, so like in dating, people really be trying to bring the baggage and be like, like lifting that shit. It's like, no, leave it.
There is something to be said about what you just said, the 7 kilos, which is roughly about 15 pounds in the United States.
Yeah.
And so you are right. When I went to Australia for those 2.5 weeks, they looked at me like I was crazy because Americans overpack. We have these huge carry-on baggage, and then you have the personal item, which is basically like a whole nother carry-on item, which is a huge duffel bag. But just to give you all perspective, when you go to Australia, when they talking 7 kilos, they're talking like a laptop bag with your laptop in it. Okay.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. Girl, no, do not let these Americans, no, do not give them other information, because let me tell you, you give American one little thing, they're walking on with something like this, girl. And it is just a whole ass bag that is as big as my couch cushion, and it's just unacceptable. And other countries know that you bring on the little carry-on personal item, which is like a satchel or maybe a little tiny purse, but they are bringing on shopping bags worth of things, and it is hella irritating. There's never space on the plane for everybody because everybody has to bring their 7 items on. It's like, bitch, take a seat.
Do we just get into it then? It's like,
and that's Russell's rant for the day.
Oh, Russell's rant. Okay, we are gonna go for 10 consecutive episodes with 10 things. And you know what I've realized? That, you know, and we need to get into it, but because we're gay, we're not focused. You know what I've realized? Like, I always set off your rant. I say something that sets off your rant. And so I need to keep that going, as in like just
that's that Pisces Aquarius relationship though. Like, I dated a Pisces. Look, Paul, first off, let me start off by saying I love you.
I know.
And I'm holding space. But I dated a Pisces.
And we're the best.
And
best sex of your life.
No, it was the most chaotic
sex of your life
that I had ever been in. Man, I tell you, it was like emotions on top of emotions on top of, it was like Mariah Carey's "You Got Me Feeling Emotions." It was always and I don't know if I could ever deal with a Pisces again to that capacity. When is your birthday again?
March 13th.
So you're a March Pisces. This was a February Pisces. So maybe I would just never date a February Pisces again, because I know January Aquarius and February Aquarius are very different.
Completely
February
different.
Aquarius are 10 out of 10. And a January Aquarius is like not 10 out of 10.
All right. Well, let's bring it back to baggage then. Like, if one of your unreasonable baggage items is dating a Pisces, then let's talk about like,
who hurt you?
Talk about who are you? Okay. What are you saying? Like, that is not acceptable baggage. Like,
it's a type of baggage, right? Like, you can't stand a sign because someone else hurt you that was that same sign. Another issue is childhood issues. So bad exes, right? Going back to the signs. Trust issues. If someone has hurt you or they betrayed your trust, like they cheated on you. Identity struggles, like you might be gay, but you're not gay enough for the gays, and you're not masked enough for the masked gays, and you're somewhere in between. And you're like, I just want to be me, and everyone is judging me on both sides. And it's hella irritating, because the guys who think they're masked are actually not. And the ones who are femme, or will actually beat your ass, and
they're tough.
Like, and not to say that that's more femme or mask, but like, why can't you just be clean cut? Why is that an issue? So baggage, acceptable baggage, things that we are aware of and actively working on.
Let me stop you
37
there,
sessions of therapy, y'all.
Let me stop you there, though. Before we get into acceptable baggage, I think we need to spill the tea on like the baggage. Like, let's dive into the baggage, and let's just go to the baggage, and let's just go to town. So I think we should start with exes. So the ex experience, right? Like, for me, what if when I think something that's unreasonable baggage is when someone tries to like make your experience the ex's experience. Like maybe their ex cheated on them. Do you know what I mean? Maybe their ex cheated on them, and now they constantly think that if you're talking to someone else, you're going to cheat on them. It's like, no, I am not your ex. I'm not going to cheat on you.
I'm your next.
I'm your next
ex.
Or I'm your next ex, because if you keep
ex,
because if you keep acting like that, I'm your next ex. But what about this? Yeah, you go.
I had a friend who had another friend. Every time we bring this individual into the circle or an outing, they were always talking about their ex. And if alcohol got involved, it was worse. Like, we could be like, yo, let's vibe. This is our jam. Like, oh, I hate this song. My ex used to listen to this song all the time. It's like, girl, no one cares about your ex. We're not talking about your ex. We're talking about how I got rhythm and your ex don't, okay? But it's like they find every excuse to bring up their ex. And it's like the baggage part of that is deal with your issue about what you had with your ex and 100%. Check that at the door, because you bringing that into every situation is bringing negativity, which is then going to bring you down.
Okay, but you and I are like, we're reasonable people. We're understandable people.
No, I'm not. I'm not reasonable. Okay? I'm not reasonable. No, get your shit together and get out.
So in the instance of that, where it's like, oh, I hate this song because my ex loved it. It's like, okay, then my question then would be like if you broke up with your ex last week, like 7 days ago, then I'm like, oh, I totally get it. Like, you just broke up with him. It's very raw. If it's like
raw,
a year onward, stop. If it's like a year onwards, or if you only dated for like 3 months and it's a year onwards, and you're literally still like, I hate this song. My ex, it reminds me of an ex. It's like, why aren't you over it yet? Or why have you, not that they have to be over it.
They haven't dealt with it.
Like, they haven't dealt with it.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't dealt with it. It's like, okay, deal with your baggage. I think
I have an issue like that with a song, but it only took me like 6 to 8 weeks to get over it. It was Hotel California by the Eagles. It was my first ex's favorite song. And every time I wouldn't make a big deal about it, but every time it came on, I was just like, next.
It would just make you,
on Pandora. Remember the Pandora days? Oh, the ghetto.
I don't think we didn't really have Pandora in Australia.
God, it was the commercials. It was like you couldn't skip. It was a whole thing.
So you had to sit through the entire song.
So it was like Hotel California, Change Station.
I would have mentioned something else about exes, but I also just want to quickly touch on music. Like, being a Pisces, I'm very emotional, and like music brings up certain memories to me. So sometimes when I'm dating someone, or when I've met someone at the time of like a new album release, then that album will always be associated with that person. So like SZA's second album, SOS. SZA's second album, SOS, I was like dating some guy. We literally were hanging out for like 2-3 weeks, and there's me being the Pisces that I am, like freaking in love with him when I was just delusional. But now, like, that entire SOS album is somewhat ruined for me because all I think about is him. Which, you know what, like, now that I love SZA, she's amazing. I love her music. I think that her music is just full of so much emotion and raw. And so I'm getting over it. Well, I am over it. Okay. I am over it. That was like freaking years ago.
Okay, but yes, we're checking the baggage at the door. Yes.
I checked the baggage at the door.
You want me to check that for you? Go ahead and check it.
But
that goes in the underbelly of the plane.
I love that. But the other thing with exes, it's like, okay, what if, you know, you're completely fine with your ex, you're dating someone, and your ex, you know, you go to a new coffee shop, or you go to the like amazing coffee shop, and your go-to partner goes, I used to come here with my ex all the time, or me and my ex always did that, or like, oh yeah, my ex and I went on that holiday trip. Like, stop talking about your ex.
So I don't. Okay, here's the thing. I don't entirely dislike the idea of bringing up your ex at all, right? So if it was a situation where someone's like, "Oh, me and my ex used to come here," like, "Oh, really? Like, is this a bad my instant question back to you, is this a bad memory for you? Like, do you want to go somewhere else?" No, I actually like it here. Like, it's a bit smooth and like, oh, okay, cool. Now you and I are creating a new memory together here. You know what I
So
mean?
you are
And like
caring.
maybe that is the controlling portion of me. Like, we're gonna navigate this conversation because you're not gonna go down the rabbit hole. You're gonna stay here with me. You're right here. We're with each other. And so that would kind of be my response, but it's also important to learn about that person's ex because what happened there? What was the deconstruction of that relationship and why did it fall apart?
And I think as well, like, just to go on that, and we're already talking about like a green flag. Do you know what I mean? We're talking about acceptable baggage, like baggage where oh, you.
Oh.
But I think that, like, okay, we can talk about the ex, we can understand the ex, we can understand the ex experience, but let's not dwell on it. Let's move
Yes.
on.
Yeah,
Let's
let's
move
talk
on.
about it and proceed.
Understand it and
Yes.
proceed.
Proceed.
Yeah.
I don't want a whole book on it. I just need spark notes. I need the back of the book. I need the summary of it. Just a little bit, not too much. As it unfolds, I promise you I will see all the baggage that it came with, okay? But
do
a little bit.
you want to know what my biggest, like, when I see, I'm trying to not make this about red flags. I'm trying to make it about baggage. But one thing that is like a massive red flag to me when it's in the form of baggage, like the biggest thing to me, or the biggest thing that makes me go like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't know if I can stay in this, is when someone hasn't been single for long enough. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what
I
I
feel
mean?
red.
Oh, okay. Let's read
I never stay
you.
single very long.
Okay, but let's first talk about that, and then there is a green flag to that baggage, I think.
Nice save.
Because I love you. Now I think when someone they jump from relationship to relationship with the intention to date, but again they haven't dealt with the previous baggage, because it is so true that if you don't deal with something, you're essentially bringing it into the next, and then you're accumulating like baggage, you're accumulating like rubbish that just needs to go into the bin. And so
that's also Captain Save-A-Ho type mentality. Like, oh, I can fix this. Like, there's the fixer, right? And people who see those with issues are like, I can fix him. Like, no, you can't.
But also on the flip side of that, it's like, oh, I'm going to rewrite my wrongs in this new relationship. So I'll bring the baggage with me and rewrite it.
Yes. Like, I'm going to undo.
Ooh.
I get what you're saying. I'm going to undo everything that I did with that person. So, oh, we used to go to this bar and we used to argue here. So now I'm going to come with you and it's going to be the best experience of my life. So it's not genuine because you have an itinerary of what you're planning to do at that instead of naturally letting things happen. I get I see you. I know where you're coming from.
See. But then the green flag to me on that one is like, because I think that, you and I are in our 30s now, right? Like, you and I we've developed into like full human beings with big asses. Like, that's what you and I have developed into.
Gay
Amen,
man.
baby.
Yeah.
Gay man.
Hold on. Yeah. Yes. Look, I will tell you, everybody at my gym knows that I have the ass of all, the most perkiest, shapeliest, best ass that there is. Okay. J-Lo and I are on the same level. You're welcome.
How many times can you bring up J-Lo in a season, baby?
She's right here looking at you. Be careful the way you talk about her. Sam Smith is also looking at you.
Hi, Sam. So, you and I, we're in our 30s. We've gone through life. We've had our heartbreaks. We've gone through our shit, but we've dealt with it, right? And so when it comes to, you know, for me, when it's like, okay, you haven't been single long enough, is this a potential red flag? For me, the green flag is, okay, you haven't been single long enough, but you've healed. Like,
Mm.
so yes, you haven't been single long enough, but like maybe you are ready for a relationship because you have taken the time to heal your past baggage. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Mm.
And I think for myself as an individual, when I move on quickly, it's because I just drop things. I might not drop a grudge against a friend who did me wrong, but like X wise, I'm like, here's what, let me better explain this way.
Mm,
I
mm.
grieve my relationship while I'm in it and
Yes.
losing it
Oh,
at the
okay.
same time. So when that detachment happens, I've already gone through the process of already emotionally being drained by you, if that's the case, or feeling betrayed or having been lied to, and built up my own strength to move on,
Mm,
because it's at the point where the scary place to have me is to be overly confident and quiet, right? Where you want me
mm,
is emotional and upset because I still care. I've already grieved the
mm.
relationship and done my own doing of me and built my own confidence back a lot of times when I'm in that relationship.
Yeah.
So with one of my exes,
Mm,
I was like, "Oh, I know this relationship is going to be over." I started removing things from the house. Like,
yeah.
I'm not going to be spending the night with you anymore. I started pulling
Yeah.
back. I stopped doing things. And I was like, this isn't a relationship anymore. This is strictly transactional in the sense of we're walking into a place together to be seen as a couple, and that's it. And so
And
that relationship grievement is like, boom, done by the time I leave them.
yeah, and I think that that could segue into another baggage, which can both be unacceptable in one sense, but acceptable in another. Where,
Mm,
you know, when you tell me that, the first thing that my mind goes to is, okay, well, were you removing things because that's a defense mechanism of you coming up and being like, I don't want to get hurt, so I'm going to slowly remove things. But then,
no, I
and
was hurt. I was already hurt.
exactly,
I
but
saw the cheating. I saw the lies. I'm like, okay, cute, cute.
exactly,
You're
yeah,
cheating, cute. Because now you're going to be stuck with that
yeah.
as I'm rebuilding my life silently, and I already have moves in place.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's where you don't want me.
And so that's where I then go, okay, when that's unacceptable baggage is when, you know, someone's done something that's triggered something within you and your defense mechanism comes up,
Mhm.
but you give into that defense mechanism without
Mm,
knowing it. To
mm,
me, the green baggage or like the acceptable baggage is when the defense mechanism comes up and you go, you know what? My defense mechanisms come up right now because I've been hurt and I am going to listen to my body right now and you know protect myself. Which then, like, what I'm trying to get at is, I think there's like bad baggage is a lack of self awareness.
mm.
Good baggage is like having a self awareness of like the things that trigger you, the bad things about you, the good things about you, and like being honest to yourself about that. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm.
So let's see. Okay.
Oh my gosh,
Ooh,
what?
this is awkward. I want to move into
Why?
like a little bit of a like
Yeah.
lightning round because we've kind of like broke down. Okay, we get it. We know what baggage is. We know
Yeah.
you know what acceptable, carry on is, right?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
you're a little bit look on la cabeza, right? Or you're a little bit like, let me see your phone. Who are you texting? Right. So a little bit of that, right? So we get it. We know we know the heavy baggage and we know the other baggage, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What is completely unacceptable baggage?
Completely unacceptable baggage. Do you have one?
Yes.
Okay, you go first because I need to think.
Completely unacceptable baggage to me is having slept with too many people to where we walk into a place and you can't talk to this person because they're sleeping with someone and they don't like you, and this person has been with you so you don't like them, and it's very messy because I'm quick to cut all that off. I don't care if it's 100 people. I'll be like, I don't have time for it. Y'all are messy. But here's the other thing. Here's the flip side to that, right?
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Your dirt in silence and it's not spoken about, then there's no tension in the room. And that's how I know you're not messy. If you tell me later, I've been with people, I'm like, oh, I never saw that coming. Oh, versus, oh God, I don't want to be here. I hooked up with that guy and they're all friends now. And like and I dated that person. Now they're best friends. And it's too messy for me. I don't like it. Because
messiness.
now there's this awkward, not even an awkward tension, because I don't care. I'll walk into a room with people that hate me. I don't care. Because nobody weighs my life down. I'm moving forward. You're at where you're at, whatever.
Yeah.
So, but the issue with me is I can walk with you confidently hand in hand, knowing that we have something genuine and that we're growing and doing things. But when the whispers start.
Yes.
And there's things I don't know. That's baggage opposed to you were so silent about your moves and you chose to do things with the right people who are also silent about their moves that no one knows who slept with whom because you all are living your own lives and no one cares to talk about it.
And let me just reword that into a different phase that, well, first of all, there's nothing wrong with sleeping with 100 people. Like, if that's your business, that's your business, and you do you, girl. Nothing wrong with sleeping with 100 people. Just want to clarify that out there for the people that have slept with 100 people, that there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, there is nothing wrong with that. But I think what you're getting at is honesty. It's like, you and I are dating, and it's like, hey, baby, I just want to be honest with you. I have been around. I'm not like that anymore. So when we go to that bar, we might run into people that I've like slept with, and I just want to be honest with you. Do you know what I mean? Like, there is a difference in being like, one, carrying that baggage and like holding it to yourself and just being like, I'm just going to let my man find out and we'll just deal with it then, versus like,
that is the worst way to get me because I will want to rip everybody's head.
Which is like, then, like, let's just be honest. Like, look, I'm just going to let you know we're going to a party tonight. And at that party, there's going to be these 3 people that I've most likely had a thing with. I just want to be honest with you. Do you know what I mean?
You know what? I understand what you're saying. I know someone personally who has been with a few people. There's no judgment. They're sex positive is what it is.
Exactly.
And
that's the good word.
I have no judgment with that because they're not moving through life maliciously, right? It's not like I'm going to get at this person because his man, I'm going to get at, right? Like it would be like saying, I'm going to get at this person because I can get his man and I can have one up on him and know that his man would want me. And that to me is an issue, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Also, I want to ask your opinion on this.
Oh my gosh, you're putting me on the spot again. Go for it.
Being a good friend or being a good friend obviously is a green flag.
100%.
Being a quiet ex-friend and minding your own business when you know things are happening to your ex-friend, is that baggage? Or is that, oh, this person minds their own business? That relationship is done. And whatever they hear is they're not going to act on it. They're not going to tell anybody's tea because it's like, it's not my business. If your man is cheating on you with someone that doesn't like you and we used to be friends, I don't care.
I think that then, like, if we're framing that into,
is that a red flag or a green flag?
Yeah, if we're framing that into, okay, this conversation somehow turned into, I think it somehow turned into baggage into red flag, green flag, which is fine because
baggage is red flag, green flag.
It is. We're playing capture the flag, capture the green flags. So I think in terms of what you've just said, then the green flag is really respect and the red flag is really a lack of respect. So, okay, if someone isn't your friend anymore, but morally, if you are in an exclusive relationship, or if you are operating within the boundaries of whatever you've set for your open relationship, and someone's operating outside of that, i.e. cheating on the exclusive relationship or operating outside of the mutually agreed boundaries, then it comes down to how much do I respect that person. If I've got zero respect for that person, then why would I give energy to that? If I know that I have respect for myself and that I wouldn't want that to blindside me in the future, and that person used to be my friend, we used to be really close, then maybe I would say to that person, hey, look, I know you and I aren't on the best terms at the moment, but I just want to let you know, and you do whatever you want to do with this information. But your man is outside. Your man is outside. Your man is outside. Do what you want with that. Bye.
Is no labels also considered baggage for you? If someone's like, oh, I don't really do labels.
To me, that again comes back to the green flag, red flag of honesty, being honest to yourself, because and the intention. So for me, like in my experience of dating, the biggest, no, I've said that a lot of things are the biggest. Like, come on, it's not, let's be honest, it's not that big. When people say it's big,
when you're gay, it's huge.
It's huge. Everything's inflated. Like, it's hard being gay. So like one thing for me is like, these guys be on the dating apps and they're like, I'm looking for my mans, I'm looking for my husband, I want to date, I want to do all of this. And it's like, you don't want to date. You don't want to date. And so in response to your question, again, like the green flag is honesty, like being honest with yourself to be like, look, I want to date. And so eventually I'm going to lead into a label because that's what I want. And labels are important to me. Whereas if you're sort of saying like, I want to date, I want a boyfriend, oh, but we don't have to put a label onto it. It's like, do you want to date? Do you want a boyfriend? Because I don't think you do. I think you're lying to yourself.
I think
Why
that comes
you
with
such a
age and wisdom,
liar?
though.
Yeah, 100%.
Why you always lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God.
Why you always lying? Gosh.
That has to be the best spoof that had ever hit the internet.
Oh, 100%.
Other baggage, family.
As in, define that.
Okay, so other baggage is family involved in a relationship, right? So it's like, well, my brother thinks this about my sister thinks this. Oh, my mom thinks that your mom could choke, your sister could choke, and your brother can choke because this is not their relationship. This is our relationship. If you don't like it, then you need to speak up. But I also feel like baggage is using your family members as pawns to speak for you because you're too cowardly to say something yourself. Right.
Yeah.
And I always seen this. I've noticed this with people as well. Like, because baggage comes in both friendships and relationships. And, we're saying yes and no to both of these things on a daily. And one of the other things is if you're happy about a moment and your friend mentions, or even let's stay with relationships. Your relationship says, oh, if you're like, oh, I want to get a Range Rover. And then your relationship is like, my brother has that. My brother has an Audi. And it's like, okay, but what do you got? And why are you bringing up your brother? And why is it relevant to the situation? To me, that's baggage because they are always going to put you in competition with someone else because they can't compare to you or keep up with you. So they're always going to try to indirectly drag you down via someone else. So then it creates this animosity from you with that other person who you didn't even have these conversations with.
Yeah.
So to me, that's baggage, and that's a red flag because it's like, no, because there's always going to be a comparison to something, and I'm not going to be good enough for you because you're actually not good enough for me or can keep up to my level.
Yeah. And I'm going to bring that back to self-love, or like self-love as well as like like love for the friendship relationship, love for the relationship, whether that's romantic or friendship. That's what I'm going to bring it to the fact where it's like, okay, like obviously your family's approval is important, especially if you're a family person, that's important. But then, if you're with someone and, you know, your family's like, we don't love him, we don't like that. Maybe your family does like them, but then they might say something like, oh, we don't like that he doesn't take his shoes off at the door. Okay, maybe that's a bad example, but I guess at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is, you know yes, your family's opinion matters, but if this is your partner and you really love them, then it's like, how much love do you have for the relationship to then be like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't be with you because my family said this, versus like, my family said this, I acknowledge their point of view, but I want to be with you, so I'm not going to listen to outside party, if that makes sense. I'm going to like acknowledge outside party, but I'm not going to listen to it and give into it.
But if they're strong enough, they would never bring that up to you. So you would never know about that, because it's like, oh, well, they would just never bring it up to you. So that's my green flag.
I see that.
If there's an outside opinion, they would never bring that in to tell you, because they've already protected you and defended you without you even knowing. And to me, that's a green flag, right?
Yeah, 100%.
I know as an uncle, I'm a green flag when it comes to family of my nieces and nephews, relationships. Example.
Yeah.
My nephew's girlfriend, I met her. They've been dating for a year, and it took about a year to bring her around the entire family. He's taken her around my brother, my sister-in-law, and his brothers and sisters. But it took him about a year to bring her around us. And as soon as I seen her, I was like, oh my God, hi, you're here. Like, it's so nice to meet you. And she's like, oh my God, you must be Uncle Russ. Like, I've heard so much about you, and I heard that I'm going to absolutely love you. And I'm like, girl, bring it in. Give me a hug. Right? Same thing for my niece's significant other. Like, we met for the first time the other day at my other niece's graduation party. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm Uncle Russ. Nice to meet you. Oh my God, your skin is beautiful. Like, give me a hug. Come on, bring it on in. Versus sometimes when I've dated people, I'm like, oh, hey, how's it going? It's right away like, who are you? And it's like, why are you so ugly? Like, internally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, red flag, because then you got to deal with that for the rest of your life. So I personally will call off a relationship due to the interactions with friends, like toxic friends of that individual, or toxic family members, because that is showing me who you're like my mother always said, show me who your friends are, I'll tell you who you are. Right? So if for myself, I surround myself with good-hearted people, funny people, and genuine people. If you lose any one of those three things while we're friends, I will cut you off immediately, because it is, to me, like, that is toxicity that you're bringing into my place of peace, and you got to go.
Let me ask you a question. So and again, like bringing it back to bringing it back to like the character of someone, do you know what I mean? Yes. And so I asked one of my friends, I was like, hey, me and Russ, we're doing a podcast on baggage, blah, blah, blah. Like, what's something to you that's like unacceptable? And, my friend's pretty chill. He was like, I'm pretty chill, like, but maybe something like if they were rude to the wait staff, like if they're constantly rude to the wait staff. Do you know what I mean? It's like, okay, you don't know this person and they're just doing their job. Like, they just are trying to do their job and you're being freaking rude to them. Like, if that happens in that interaction with someone that they don't know, what's then going to happen? Exactly. The back to the character, right? It's like, yeah.
And I think that tracks, right? Because that is showing your genuine self. The way I feel, the way someone treats a waiter or any type of wait staff is the genuine person that they are. If you can't even acknowledge a homeless person with respect, then I see where you're at, right? Like, if a homeless person, like, for example, if there's a homeless person sitting outside of your gym and you're like, oh shoot, like, I hope they don't ask me for money. Like, internally you're thinking like, I hope they don't ask me for anything. I hope they're not on anything.
Yeah.
And I just
Yeah.
want to get into the gym, right?
Yeah.
That's one thing, right? And if you're walking and then that person there takes the time out to turn and tell you, have a good workout, and you don't have the class to turn around and be like, oh, thank you so much. I really
Thank you so
appreciate that. Have
much.
a good day.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, oh, you actually think you're better than everybody. Like you think you're better than someone
That's
because
the word, being, yeah.
you're only as good as your heart shows. And to me, to disregard someone like that is so ugly. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just like, it's appalling. Because I'm like, oh, wow. Like, you can't even be nice to someone who just wished you. They didn't ask you for nothing. They're just not in your class of economic status. Right?
What
like,
about,
I want to be with someone who's willing to give their shirt off their back to somebody if they need it, knowing damn well you got 30 shirts at the house.
Yeah. There's so
Like,
much
you know,
love.
this person is like,
there's so much love,
you know,
there.
they don't have any clothes on. Like, I'm just gonna, let's just give them my sweater. I'll run back to the house and we'll get a different one. Like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Like, good for you.
Green flag. Let me bring up another one. So this one sort of happened to me, and you know, part of me understands it, but then on the other part of me, it's like, no, bitch. Okay, so I went like, no, bitch. Like I met this guy, and he obviously has been hurt before. He's obviously, you know, got his defenses up, and so to protect himself, he told me some lies. So he didn't exactly, you know, because so in his defense afterwards, he was like, look, I just met you. I didn't want to tell you the complete truth about myself because I just met you. But there were little lies of things where he was like, one, he was 29 years old, but he said he was 27. So that's, you know, he lied about his age. And two, he lied about his ethnicity. Like he was like, I'm half Brazilian, I'm half Colombian. And then, you know,
What was
I'm
his
basically
ethnicity?
So let me get to that. So, you know, he was like, I'm half Brazilian, I'm half Colombian. And then, you know, I'm basically building a conversation off of the things that you tell me. So, you know, maybe a day or two later, I sort of return back to it and I'm like, hey, like my best friend is Brazilian. Like, where in Brazil is your family from? And he goes, I'm not from Brazil. And I was like, oh, you told me you were half Brazilian, half Colombian. And he was like, oh, yeah, sorry. I just said that because, again, like until I met you and like, you know, then I understood that you were a nice, genuine person, I didn't want to tell you everything. Like, I didn't want to be truthful with you. And for me, I was like, what? Like, we're literally
that's confusing.
It's confusing. And it's like, okay, I get that you've been hurt in the past, but don't try to build a conversation on a lie, if that makes sense.
Yes. Yeah. And you know what? Here's the thing. I know some people will hide their careers for X, Y, or Z reasons, right? Because they don't want to get, there's just things that you don't want to be questioned about.
But also you don't want to reveal something, get attached, and then the attachment ends and it's like, shit, I just revealed something.
Exactly. But like to say that you're a different culture, that's culture appropriation, y'all. Like it's finest. Like, right? Like I am majorly Mexican, right? So Mexican, the cough girl, the season.
Again, it wouldn't be a season, or we wouldn't be doing this podcast without my cough. Like,
so I'm majorly Mexican.
Yeah.
I'm Spanish, Italian, Algerian, right? I have all those things in my blood. But when people ask me what I am, I'm Mexican, right? Because not that I'm proud to be everything that I'm a part of, because I have there's different things that we pulled from as kids, and there's different, you know, I feel like culture is technically what you're raised with, not the genetics you're born with.
Yeah, but so like you're not lying about it. Do you know what I mean? You say you're Mexican, but then like later on it might come up in conversation, like, oh yeah, I've got a bit of like Italian, Spanish like heritage within my family, and it's like, you know, if you then revealed that down the track, I'm not going to be like, what? You're like
what really throws everyone is the Algerian. They're like,
Yeah.
Algerian.
What? You're 185th Algerian? How could you not
No,
tell me
girl.
that? How could
I'm
you
a higher
lie?
percentage of Algerian that you would not believe. I'll have to tell you. You're gonna be like, what?
But it's like,
Um,
okay, if you just say that you're Mexican and then down the track be like, oh yeah, I've got Algerian in my family, like okay, cool, like thanks, that's
yeah,
amazing, that's a fact, that's cool, I love to
yeah,
learn
yeah.
more about you. Hmm.
Uh, Oh shoot, there was one I was gonna ask you right now.
Yeah, do it, do it,
Oh
do
no,
it,
I forgot.
do it.
Oh
Ask me.
no.
You're asking for it. You're dying for it. Ask me.
No, it was another baggage that I thought about, and I was like, "Oh my god, this would be so
Hmm.
good," and it's gone.
We're
Um,
definitely gonna do like a 2.0 of this
oh my god,
website
Daddy
of this
Issues 2.0
episode.
season Daddy Issues 3.0. We did
3.0.
2.0 season 2, 3.0 is coming. I feel like that should be
That's
an
coming,
episode wrap.
guys.
Like that should
It's
be a season
coming.
wrap.
I told
Um,
you we need to bring a daddy on the podcast.
counseling
Ooh.
is unfinished counseling baggage for counseling is huge baggage for me.
As in like having counseling or not having counseling?
Wait, hold on. Let me rephrase this.
Be careful
Therapy
what you
is
say, girl.
baggage. Counseling means you have something you're working with. Therapy means that there's a major issue
Mm,
that is like you're working through. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be a little cautious. Be like, oh, I have a therapist. Yeah, I talked to my therapist. Like, girl,
yeah.
this week was good. You know, it's just a little check-in just to make sure that I'm mentally doing okay. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like everyone should get some sort of therapy in some point in their life. It's
Yeah.
nice,
100%. It's good. It's good to know about yourself. And, I've said it every single episode, therapy is required. But let me
but
put
also,
like,
go ahead, go
don't.
ahead, go ahead.
No, you were going to say, but don't. But all
I wasn't
I
gonna
was
say
going to
that. I was not. Go ahead.
okay. Let me just say, like, let me put that into perspective for you. So, I was working on something with my therapist before I left Adelaide, before I moved to Melbourne.
Uh-huh.
But then, I was organizing my move, I was finishing up with work, I was packing up the house. I was trying to save a bit of money. So, me and my therapist didn't get started on one thing. And like, I know that when I get triggered in that certain way, it's always going to be there, and that I know that I need to work on it. But I guess for me, it's like, okay, yes, I was wanting to work through something, but I haven't worked through it. But
Yeah.
also, I have a self awareness that when I am triggered, and if it gets triggered in a dating sense, I can say to the person that I'm dating, hey, I just want to let you know that like this has happened and I'm triggered. I'm still
Mhm,
working through this, and I'm very self aware that it is an issue. I just need
mhm,
to take some time out at the moment, but I'll be able to talk about this once I've had a bit of time out. Like, I don't think that therapy is a red flag. I think that if you're aware of what you're working on and if you can communicate that to someone, then I think that there's a vulnerability in that. And I think that that is
mm.
beautiful. And I think that I'm beautiful. So,
You are
yeah,
beautiful.
thank you. Um, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say,
What?
Arnar.
What?
I
What?
forgot again. Oh
Oh my
God, is this old age?
goodness.
Is this old age? Um,
You know what? I was about to just say something stupid like age,
no, what
red
I was
flag,
gonna say
green flag.
about therapy is that
Yeah.
you should have an end goal with your therapy.
Oh,
This
100%.
shouldn't be an ever cycle of you constantly digging up and digging up and digging up, and there's no solutions, no outcomes, no follow through, no nothing. Because
Yeah.
then, just to me, that tells me
You're
that you
not.
can't focus and fixate and handle something that's within yourself. So,
Mm.
what makes you think you're going to be able to handle this relationship?
But then also on the flip side of that, it's like, okay, you're going to therapy, but you're not actually
Being
working
therapized.
on exactly. It's like your therapist is literally saying to you, like, you need to love yourself more. But then as soon as you walk out the door, you're doing things that does not make you love yourself. It's like,
Yes.
okay, why are you paying $120 Australian every month?
Yes.
And that's after the government has covered $100 of the bill, and you're
Yes.
still covering the gap, and you're just wasting your money because you're having this person say to you these are the things that I believe you need to do, and you're not doing it.
Yeah.
Mm.
I also think that your therapist should challenge you. Like if you are afraid, not even afraid, but like if you're afraid of rejection, your therapist should challenge you to be like, I want you to walk up to 3 people and introduce yourself, get their phone number, whether it's at the gym. I should probably take that advice from my damn self at the gym. Just, hey, how's it going? Because at the gym, people think I'm a D-bag, but I'm really not.
Because you are. No, you're not.
I just have that face because I'm locked in. I'm trying to get to my workout. Really, I should have that sign on my back that says like, please don't talk to me because if you do, I have an uncontrollable mouth and we'll have a conversation the whole time and I'll miss my workout. That's what my shirt should say, just like end credits, right?
Yeah,
but I'm really trying to lock in and do my thing. And like, I'm trying not to be the person that's doing one set, a 5-minute break in between, another set, another 5. Like people are trying to get in, they're trying to get out. My workouts are already long enough as they are.
Yeah. I think like to go back to go back to what you said though about like being challenged by your therapist. I think again that comes with an openness, right? Because I used to love when my therapist, like I'd be sitting on the couch and I would just be like, I met this guy and I hate him, blah, blah, blah. And then he did this and then I hate him anymore, but then he messaged me and I love him now. Like, do you know what I mean? Like I'm just running my mouth to my therapist.
Yes.
And I would love when my therapist would say, why do you do that? And she literally used to catch me off guard sometimes when I would just be talking and she would question me. And when she would question me, I would literally have to sit back and go, holy shit, like, why do I do that? Like, where did that feeling come from? Or like, why did I react like that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, we could literally go on forever. We need to get, I have an episode idea. Oh yeah, go for it. I was going to say episode idea. We're gay.
Say it again.
We're gay. I have an episode idea. So you know how I said we need gay doctor, like getting a gay doctor on? What if we get gay therapist on?
Oh girl, that's messy.
Exactly. And then we get one of our friends. We get one of our friends who we think needs therapy and we don't tell them that we're actually going to put them into a therapy session live on YouTube. And it happens and we're just sitting in the background with our tea like, whoop. All right, what do you want to say?
I had posted something about what's acceptable baggage, daddy issues, this issues, that issues.
Yeah.
And some of the responses were funny. One was like, you should have no baggage because you should come completely confident and correct. And you should handle all of your problems before you move on. Because, and they put like a little asterisk at the bottom that said, every relationship has their own problems. That's why you left them.
And like, okay, but...
Oh...
Yeah, but really,
that makes sense, right?
Okay.
You should leave that relationship there.
100%. But also, if you're gonna come into a relationship as perfect as ever, then you're gonna be single forever.
Someone else put the only acceptable baggage is daddy issues because then you could just call me daddy. That could be all fixed.
Okay, can I just say I literally because I reposted what you posted, and I literally had 3 people say to me, girl, daddy issues is not an issue. And then I was like, I know.
The other one was the forever fiance, meaning like the person who is always getting engaged in every relationship.
Oh, taking it from 0 to 100 like every single time.
Yes, like I want to marry you, and then they put a ring on it, right? That to me is a red flag. You can be an actual forever fiance, like be engaged forever, because that might be what works for you because you're in love, you know, you're committed, and you don't want to do the big spiel, and you don't want to spend the money like everyone has done back when we were younger, right? Because it's a different age. We're making 26% less than our parents did at our age, and the average 50 to 60-year-old has 70% more than their parents had at that age. So I get why people want to just stay engaged and not have a big wedding or go elope, right? But the person who is always trying to lock somebody down permanently and trap, to me, it's like a trap. That is a baggage, and you should run.
Exactly, which then goes back to exactly what I said 54 minutes ago, when the biggest red flag to me is when you have not been single, because it's like, girl, like I will message my friend and be like, girl, that guy was literally like engaged to that other guy like figuratively, whatever. They were
like 2 months
basically
ago.
like 2 months ago, and he's already got a new husband.
Yeah.
Like, girl, he's just jumps from husband to husband. Like,
Yeah.
he's bringing some shit into that. Like, that's me, just judgmental as fuck. Like,
Yeah.
oh gosh.
Well, this has been 50. We've almost been at this at an hour, so we're definitely gonna have to split this into 2 parts. So we're gonna continue red flags, or sorry, baggage, not your check your baggage, not your standards, part 2 next week. But first, the oh no moment of the week. Paul, what is your oh no moment of the week?
So my oh no moment of the week, my oh no moment of the week is so I always say this thing like on Fridays, I'm just like, Fat Fridays. And you know, when I go to get a coffee, I'm just like, I'll just get a long black. And sorry for those in the US, a long black is a Americano. So I'll like go to the coffee shop and I'll just be like, oh, I'll just grab a long black and I'll get a ham and cheese croissant as well, thanks. And in my mind, I'm like, ham and cheese croissant because Fat Friday. And so yesterday was Fat Friday in full swing. Like, I didn't bring lunch to work, I didn't meal prep, and so then I got a sandwich. When I got a sandwich, I was like, I'll also get a cookie, thank you. And then I met up with some friends, but before I met up with some friends, I had a burger. And then after, like, my friends and I went out for dinner, so I had a pizza. And then on the way home, I just decided to have like 3 scoops of ice cream because why not? Fat Fridays. Okay, but after a whole day of Fat Fridays, I'm like, okay, you need to get back into it, girl. Wake up this morning, go to the gym, and it's like a cardio day at the gym this morning, right? So this oh no is fresh. Like, I'm at the gym and it was a team of 4, like we were in team of 4, and to finish off the workout, it was a 1 kilometer run. And like, everyone knows that I hate running. So there I am running, and then I just drop off after like 500-600 meters. I just drop off, let them run off, and then later on they meet back up with me, and they were like, "Oh, is everything okay? Like, why did you stop running?" And I was just like, "Oh, I just hate running. Like, I just hate running. I don't really like running. I just got a bit lazy." But really, I needed to stop because I needed to let out a massive fart because of all the freaking food that I ate yesterday. And so if you're listening and you go to my gym, yes, I did stop, but I stopped not because I was lazy, but because I needed to fart, girl.
Oh no. I hate that. Sometimes I skip abs so that I don't fart. Okay, you want to hear my or-no moment of the week?
Tell me your no moment of the week.
Look, I had to take a flight this week. Girl, upon landing, I was freaking the F out because we blew 2 tires on landing. It was like, boom. And I was like, oh, and the plane was like, I was like, oh my gosh. Like,
did you fart?
I didn't freak out, but I was like, oh my God. Like, it was just a reality check of, you know, like, things can happen. Like, things can happen in life. And I literally almost shat myself because I got nervous. And I looked at the person next to me and I was like, hi. I didn't know what else to say. And they were like, did you feel that? And I was like, feel what? Because I hit like instant denial, like nothing happened. And then we ended up like everything ended up being fine, but we had to like sit in the plane for almost 2 hours. So it was definitely like, oh no, like what just happened?
You know what? And then that makes me question our friendship because I did not get a text message from you being like, I almost died today and I just want to let you know that I love you. Where was my message, girl?
Okay, but the green flag is that I'm not dramatic and I wasn't putting that baggage on you. I just dealt with it. I was fine. I'm here today for the podcast and we continue. We, like things happen. Like,
you know what?
A little fender bender and it was fine.
Exactly. And that's my bestie. That's my girl. She takes care of herself. That's my bestie.
All right, y'all. It's been real for your day gay. We will see you next week for Check Your Baggage, Not Your Standards, part 2. Until then, later.
Until then, be a green flag. Bye.